This video is for integrated 3. This is the video on the worksheet that is called FIGS. Okay, so we're doing more of the same with our inverse. So again, we want to focus on where we want to be. So sine inverse is going to be from here to here. And when I say that, I mean from negative pi halves to positive pi halves. And I want what angle will give me a sine that is a negative root 2 halves. And so that angle is going to be right here. And this is going to be a negative pi force. And that is our answer. On number 2, arc cosine of 1. Now my arc cosine is going from here to here, which is going from 0 to pi. And I want where my cosine is a 1, and my cosine is a 1 up here. Sorry, not my cosine, our cosine is a 1 here at 0. So the answer to this is 0, and this is 0 radians. Okay, 0 degrees, but we're talking radians, so 0 radians. On number 3, I'm going to start from the inside out. So here, first off, I want to find the sine of 5 pi thirds. So this is just sine, it's not sine inverse. Okay, so 5 pi thirds is going to be down here. And this is at a 1/2 comma negative root 3 halves. So what I want is I want cosine inverse of a negative root 3 halves, because that is what the sine is there. So I am going to now do cosine. So let me just have you understand that is the same as sine of 5 pi thirds. So now they're asking us to find cosine inverse of that. And cosine inverse goes from here to here, from 0 to pi. And my cosine being a negative root 3 halves is going to be right here, which is at 5 pi 6. And that is going to be our final answer. On number 4, again, we're going to start from the inside. So cosine inverse of 2/3. So first cosine is going to be from here to here. Cosine inverse is from here to here. So I'm really going to be looking from 0 to 2 pi. I'm sorry, from 0 to pi. This is a positive cosine, so that's going to be in quadrant 1. So let me just draw a triangle, a right triangle. I'm just drawing it, not in any particular spot here, but I'm just going to draw this. And so really what we're looking for is this angle that has a cosine value of 2/3. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So at this point, I'm going to do Pythagorean. 2 squared plus, let's call it y squared, is equal to 3 squared. So I'm going to get y squared is equal to 9 minus 4. So y squared is equal to 5. So this is going to be the square root of 5 here. So now they are saying, hey, sine. So we want sine of that angle, okay? And so sine of that angle, I'm just going to call it theta, is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and that's your answer, a root 5/3. So on this one, we're trying to find the angle, and I don't really need the angle value, but the angle that gives me a cosine of 2/3, I want to find the sine of that same angle. And the sine of that angle is going to be root 5/3. On number 5, I am first again going to start with the inside, and I'm looking at 7 pi 6. So 7 pi 6 is going to be right here. Let me just get the coordinates of this. This is going to be a negative root 3 halves, comma, negative 1 half. The cosine of that is our our x value. So what I'm really going to be finding is sine inverse of negative root 3 halves. Now, sine inverse is going from here to here. And again, when I say that, I'm saying from negative pi halves to positive pi halves is how we're thinking about it. And I'm looking for where my sine is going to be a negative root 3 halves, and that's going to be right here. And that is going to be at a negative pi thirds. And that is our answer. On 6, I've got a couple things I need to do. First thing I need to do is work this out. So when I'm dealing with sine inverse is going from there to there. So I am going from negative pi 6 to pi halves to positive pi halves. And where my sine is a negative 1 half is at this point here, which is a negative pi 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this tangent, and instead of sine inverse of a negative 1 half, that is a negative pi 6. And then I still have the minus 3 pi halves. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to kind of do this math here, clean that up. So let me just rewrite this, both in terms of 6. So this is going to be 6, negative pi 6. The other one, if I'm times top and bottom by 3, is going to be a negative 9 pi 6. I'm just getting a common denominator. Okay, just taking 3 pi halves, timesing it by 3 on top and bottom to get the common denominator. That's all I'm doing. So then when I clean this up, tangent of negative 10 pi 6, which I can simplify. 10 pi 6 is really a negative 5 pi thirds. So now I'm not looking at tan inverse. Okay, so let me get rid of this. I am looking at my tangent, and I want tangent where it is a negative 5 pi thirds. And so if I'm thinking of a negative 5 pi thirds, I'm going this direction. Okay, this would be a negative 3 pi thirds all the way to a negative 5 pi thirds, which is going to be right here. And this point is going to be 1 half comma root 3 halves. Now the tangent there is y over x. So I'm going to have root 3 halves over 1 half, which I am going to clean up. And I'm going to think of this as a root 3 halves times the reciprocal, which is 2 over 1. And that cleans up to root 3. And that is my final answer. And that's the end of this video.